Hello friends, welcome back to the session. In the current session, I am going to explain how to find elements on a web page. So why we need to find an element on a web page? Why? Because if we want to perform any actions on a web page like sending a value to the input box or clicking on a submit button or selecting a value from a drop down button, we need to first find the element of that particular web page. So how we can find this element on web page? Selenium WebDriver supports 8 locators to find web elements. So what are all these locators? So the locators are nothing but object identifiers which we use to identify an element on a web page. So there are 8 locators are listed here like ID, name, link text, partial link text, tag name, class name, CSS selector, XPath. So let's see how we can find elements using these locators. Find element by ID. So if our web element having attribute called ID, then we can use ID as a major preference to find that element. See the tag present over here. If you see particular element is having this kind of tag arrangement and that particular tag is having attribute called ID, then we can use ID to find that particular element. I will show the tag structure on this particular web page. If we go to Google and if you click inspect element, you can see here input tag is there for this text box and there are some values over here. So this particular element is having attribute called ID and it is having a value in it. So we can use this particular value of ID to identify this particular element. So same thing I have shown here in my presentation how we can find that element. So if that element is having attribute ID and it is having the value 2 tab search text box, we can find that element like this, like web element search box equal to driver.find element by .id. So here we need to pass this value. In the same way, we can find element using name. So if that input tag or the particular element is having the attribute called name, then we can use this name attribute to find that element. The only change here we are using driver.find element by .name and we need to provide the value of that name. Here we can use link text also to find a element. Especially this link text we can use to find a particular links on a web page. Links are nothing but anchor tags. If a anchor tag is having attribute called href and it is having some text on it, so in that case we can use this text to find the element. So here I have given like web element link today's deals. On Amazon we have link today's deals, so we can find this element in this way: driver.find element by .link text and the value of that particular anchor tag text. So today's deals I have given here so that we can find this element. And next one is partial link text. As we can see in link text, we have given complete text of a link. sometimes even though we can give partial value of a link text, that will be work in this case. So here we can use partial text of the link, like if a particular anchor tag is having text value today's deals, we can use only the word today. So by this we can able to find the element. And the next locator is tag name. So this tag name we can particularly use to select a value from drop down or to select a checkbox value. So here I have given like if a drop down box is having options like selected, books, electronics and gift cards, if we want to select a particular value for a particular drop down like electronics, we need to find the particular drop down box first. So as in case I have find this element like select drop down equal to new select. Here inside this braces we need to give driver dot find element by dot tag name and the tag name select. I have given that. After that, using this object of the object drop down dot select by visible text, and the visible text is electronics, as we can see here. Sorry, we can see here electronics. So it is case sensitive, so we need to give exact match. And next locator, class name. So for this input tag we can see there is a class name value, name, type, value, etc. If we want to find an element using class name, we can write like driver dot find element by dot class name and the name of the class. Make sure that in every case element is unique. If sometimes if there are bunch of elements having same class name, then your WebDriver will click on the first element. So if you want to select a particular element, if you are using class name, if it is returning more than one element, you need to give one more locator in additional, like a combination of class name and name, like that we can use. The next locator, CSS selector. So CSS selector, by using CSS selector we can find an element. So by using CSS selector, how we can find an element detailedly, you can go to the W3 schools and you can type just how to use finding elements using CSS selector, so you can get good details on it. And next one is XPath. So here in XPath there are two types of XPath. One is native XPath and second one is relative XPath. So what is this native XPath and relative XPath? Here in native XPath we need to give exact traversing of the element, like if a element is present in a page at a midpoint, so the element will be identified in this way using native XPath, like from the top to bottom level, HTML/body, div, header, so on, and the input is having ID like this. So if you use this kind of XPath, it will be very risky, because in future if there is an additional element is added in your page, then the XPath may be vary for this element. So I will suggest every time use relative XPath so that your program won't fail. So what is this relative XPath? So using X query, we can write a relative XPath. So for the same element which I have shown here, a particular input box which we can see in Amazon first page, that is landing page. So same input box we can find in these two ways. In case of native XPath, we need to find the element using XPath. These too lengthy and too risky, and same element we can find using a X query technique. So like this we can find this element. So once we find this element using X query, we can write in our program, we can use this XPath in our program like driver.find element by XPath. So here the type of the box is input and the ID is 2 tab search text box. Like that we can find our elements. So if we want to find our elements, every time we need to go to this particular element, and we are going to right click on this element, and we are going to search what is the tag, or what are all the attributes having this tag. So this is somewhat tough to find elements. So to make it easy, we have two plugins in Firefox. Those are Firebug and Firepath. So I am going to show you how we can find elements using Firebug and Firepath in Amazon. So before I am going to show this demonstration, first I am going to teach you how we can install these plugins in Firefox. Just go to the menu, Tools, Add-ons, search for Firepath. So if you search Firepath here, you will get Firepath in results. Just look at the icon, make sure that you are installing this particular plugin, and click on install. So it got installed, and it is asking us, or it is suggesting us, restart the Firefox now. So just do it. Once it get restarted, just type again Firebug. In the results you can get Firebug. So based on the version of Firefox you are using, the Firebug will be vary. So I suggest you people to use Firefox version between 26 to 30. So install this Firebug. So it got installed now. So now we are ready to use Firepath and Firebug to find our elements. Just I am closing these two tabs. I am going to open Amazon website now. Here now you can use Firebug and Firepath to find the elements. Like in case if you want to find a particular link called today deals or gift cards or sell or customer service, any link or any particular element, what you need to just do, after installing Firepath and Firebug, you can see at the top right corner, this is the Firebug icon. You just click on it. At the below you can see developer tools bar is opened, and here click on Firepath. Keep the cursor here, make sure you have selected XPath here, and click on this arrow mark and drag to the element which you want to find. Just I am dragging and I am placing here. Click on that particular element. So you can see there is XPath generated here. So by this XPath, if you click on that particular element, so you can see the XPath is generated here and the element is highlighted here in blue color, dotted blue color, and make sure that you found only one matching node. So by this you can identify this element. So use this XPath in your project, like type web element link gift card equal to driver dot find element by XPath. So here in the expression you need to give the value which we have copied from there. That's all. Like this we can find our elements and we can do actions on these elements. If you want to perform action on this element, so just take this particular object value and click dot here. So the actions which we can able to perform on this element are listed here. So on links we used to perform click, so just click on this. So if you write in this way, that means we are performing click action on this particular link. That's all the agenda here in this particular session. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.